Hello, everyone. Well, it feels like it's already the middle of August, which means that if you're a teacher like me, your biological teacher clock is going off. You've got your courses prepped, your pencils sharpened, and what that means is it's the beginning of fall or autumn or the closeness of the autumnal equinox. So, my name is Hillary. You've stumbled into Hillary's Whiskey Lounge, and today I'm going to give you a short description of some whiskeys you might be looking for to kick off your fall or autumn, or to celebrate the autumnal equinox. We're not going to do very many tastings today. I just really wanted to show you some brands to look out for. These are unpeated and really sherry forward for the most part. Not all of them are. Some are from the Highlands, some are from the Islands and Campbeltown. I'm trying to give you a wide variety of brands to look for. The labels that I'm going to be showing you might not be the exact label that you're going to be finding, but I just really wanted to focus on the brands. So the first one I want to start off with is very sherry forward Glenallachie. Now this happens to be a hand pour that I was lucky enough to do back last summer when I was in Scotland, and this is a PX Hogshead matured, so this is going to be very sherry forward. But you're going to see this brand if you're not familiar with Glenallachie and you really want to start delving into whiskey, but you're afraid of the real harsh, sharp, bitter ones, and you want to go for something sweeter. Find Glenallachie. This is actually the newer label. You're going to find another funny older label that sort of looks like Flintstones writing. And I would recommend doing something like Arran 7, or I mean not Arran, sorry, Glenallachie 7, or even bump it up a little bit to the Glenallachie 15. The 10 tends to be cask strength, which if you're just starting off in whiskey, which for you it might be a little strong. But I look for this Glenallachie brand, and as I said, this is a nice Highland brand. Actually not Highland, Speyside. Ugh. Okay, so Speyside. But it's very sherry forward, very sweet, very welcoming to those who are new to Scotch. Okay, another brand, and this is definitely Highland, is the Glendronach. This happens to be a bottle that I found a few years ago, still their cask strength batch 11, which I believe they don't make anymore, or they don't sell anymore widely, at least in the United States. So I was really lucky enough to find this. But there are plenty of iterations and expressions of the Glendronach that are out there. They are also, like Glenallachie, very sherry forward, very sweet, and very friendly to the new and up and coming Scotch drinker. So the Glendronach, yeah, I know so many Glens. Glen means valley, so you're going to see a lot of Scotch labels named Glen. But the Glendronach is also a really beautiful, beautiful whiskey for the autumn. Okay, let's move around to, let's go to Campbeltown. So anybody guess what I'm going to show you now? Okay, now this is Springbank. This is from Campbeltown. This is Springbank 10. They're classic. It's a little more bourbon forward, so there are some sherry expressions that Springbank makes, but this Springbank 10 is probably the most accessible to most people. If you're lucky enough to find Springbank, you're going to find this one. This one is good for summer, but it's got such a nice, deep, rich, complex Campbeltown funk flavor, and you'll see that when you open it. That I definitely would recommend it for fall over summer. So I don't know, maybe did I even add this to my summer sippers list? I don't know. I shouldn't have, because I definitely think it's a little more complex than a light sipper, such as Brook Laddie, Classic Laddie, or something that's really light for the summer. So this is, think nice warm bonfires and being down by the ocean. There's a lot of that ocean influence from Campbeltown. If you look up Campbeltown on a map, it's part of I guess it would be a peninsula that's in the Inner Hebrides, just off the west coast of Scotland. Okay, so that is Springbank. Now, if you can't find Springbank, and I wanted to give a quick shout out to Springbank's little cousin, is Campbeltown. This is actually a blended whiskey, so this is a blend from, well, in essence, really one. Well, no, I guess if there's some Glen Scotia added in here, Glen Scotia, Kilkerran, and Springbank. This is sort of a conglomeration of what is the classic Campbeltown funk. As you can tell from this bottle, it does have a little bit of a darker, possibly sherry influence to it. But as I said, if you can't find the Springbank 10, you might have better luck finding Campbeltown Loch at your local specialty whiskey store. Okay, but you'll still get that really nice bonfire by the sea flavor and feel, just that whole vibe. I know I use that word vibe, for really feeling the onset of fall if you're a whiskey beginner or whiskey enthusiast. Okay, let's continue with Campbeltown, and I want to show you this really cool expression that I found from Glen Scotia. I think I purchased this one from Delia's Whiskey from Germany, so check her out. That's Delia. If you just look up Delia's Whiskey, you'll find her. She's great. She's got amazing shipping and a lot of Germany exclusives or Europe exclusives, and some really unique bottles. And as I said, great shipping, great customer service. Delia's Whiskey is wonderful. So this happens to be a first fill PX hogshead finish. If you don't know what the difference is between a finish and a maturation, well, the finish is just maybe the last couple months of this whiskey's complete maturation, where they move the whiskey into a different cask to get a little bit more of that cask flavor into the whiskey. Maturation is when this guy spends his entire life going from being distilled to lying in a cask, to being bottled all in one cask. So maturation's a little different. If you can only find sherry finishes in your area, you might want to just start with those. So this, as I said, this is a kind of a special thing that I bought from Delia's. You're really not going to be able to find this specific Glen Scotia in your market, but you might find something nice like a Glen Scotia 10, or even my favorite, which is Victoriana, because they are people, and they have personalities and feelings. Victoriana she is deep and rich and flavorful and very, very complex and perfect for the fall. Now, Glen Scotia and Springbank are both from Campbeltown, so they are going to get that really nice seaside, maritime essence as well. So that's why I wanted to throw Glen Scotia in there with Springbank. Okay, another classic. Now, this is not going to be a surprise for any of you who have either viewed my channel or who are just whiskey enthusiasts and haven't seen my channel yet, is this Arran. Now, this Arran is the Arran sherry cask, also formerly known as the bodega, but they're changing that. In fact, they have just changed the label from this beautiful kind of muted beige to this beautiful kind of light sherry colored. I'll pop a picture up on the screen for you there. But this Arran is their incredible non-chill filtered, no color added sherry cask. Pretty sure it's matured in a sherry cask. This is just going to be beautiful for the autumn, beautiful for the fall. As you can see, I've opened this up and tried a few drams of it. I love it no matter what, but it still just didn't feel right drinking this in the 95-degree weather. For those of you in the UK, that would be about 35 degrees. Still pretty hot, even though I think and I hope that you guys are on a cooling trend the last time I checked. So you really can't go wrong with anything from Arran. Their 10-year, which is definitely more bourbon forward. Their Bothy, which is their cask strength, more bourbon forward. And then the sherry, the bodega. So you really can't go wrong with anything from Arran. And this is an island, by the way, so we're going to get a lot of those nice island notes, the maritime, the sea salt. It's just gorgeous. This is a beautiful one. Okay, and then finally, you know what? Actually, I did pour myself a little a little dram of Arran. I can't do this review without actually tasting at least one. And I poured a little water in here. So this one, this is the again the Arran sherry cask. This is the one that they've just changed the label. So if you find this in your store, you might find something a little different. Like I said, that kind of light sherry color label. This is going to be really deep, rich, nutty, filled with spice, raisins, sultanas, spice cake. This is just gorgeous and absolutely perfect for the fall and all through the fall and winter seasons. It's so beautiful. It's just perfect. It's just the smell. I feel like I'm smelling like a nice, beautiful, rich spice cake, maybe with a little coconut in there, some hazelnut. It's such a beautiful, beautiful whiskey. Mm. It comes in at 56.8%, so I did add a little bit of water to this. Plus, again, if you're just starting your whiskey journey, opening up your whiskey is a good idea, especially to sense and smell and taste the full range of flavors and depth that a whiskey has to offer. Now, that's up to you. Some people don't like to add water to their whiskey and they like to have it perfectly neat. But I'm of the philosophy that I do like to add a little bit of water. It also cuts down on the bite to your tongue, but more importantly, it opens up so much of the flavor for you. Okay, I did it already. Mm. Spice cake, really deep, rich spiciness, cinnamon, and as I said before, the hazelnut, the sultana, caramel. There's just everything about this is just gorgeous. Okay, sip of water. Always have some water with you when you're drinking whiskey. Okay, and the final one, and again, I don't know if you're going to be surprised about this if you watch my channel enough. I'm a sucker for Bunnahabhain. Now, Bunnahabhain, and I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, that's how I was taught to pronounce it. Bunnahabhain, Bunnahabhain, Bunnahabhain. Bunnahabhain is from the island of Isla. And again, those of you who are starting your whiskey journey, Islay, that island, it's pronounced Isla, and it's most well known for its heavily peated Scotch distilleries. Bunnahabhain actually does make a couple peated, but it specializes in unpeated, especially more sherry forward sherry bombs is what we call them. This happens to be the cask strength. I think this is the 2025 edition. I haven't been able to get my hands on the 26 edition yet, I don't think. But this is a nice annual release. If you find something a little more run-of-the-mill, or sorry, like Bunnahabhain 12, the regular 12, that is just gorgeous. That's beautiful. If you're lucky enough to find the Bunnahabhain 18, which usually comes in between $250 and $350 US, depending on where you shop, you can't go wrong with Bunnahabhain either. It's just it's in a class by itself. It really, really is. And this is for definitely the in-depth enthusiast or the very serious gift giver. So this Bunnahabhain is, like I said, very sherry forward. I don't remember um, if it's matured, um, or how matured, or if it's just finished. I'm pretty sure it's got to be matured in these deep, deep sherry casks. And sherry casks can range from Palo Cortado to Fino to then kind of going through the spectrum to Oloroso, and then finally end up with Pedro Jimenez. So there's this whole range of sherry casks in which our lovely whiskey is matured or finished. So I did pour out a little bit of um, this Bunnahabhain 12. And again, because it's an island, Isla, you're going to get some of those sea notes, the salt, the sea drift. Oh, it's just gorgeous. But that coupled with the sherry is going to be an amazing balance. Really nutty, rich, sweet, but completely different than the Arran. Really different. You'll be at this long enough, maybe, that you can tell the difference. You can do a blind testing between the Arran, the Glenallachie, the Glendronach, and the Bunnahabhain. Wow, that is just gorgeous stuff. Now this is cask strength also. This comes in at 56%, so adding a little water might be wise, especially if you want to open up the flavors a little bit. Mmm, mmm. Just terrific mouthfeel. It's buttery, it's warm, it's rich. This would be beautiful accompanying a nice steak or after a beautiful steak dinner, um, or maybe with a nice, rich, warm brownie ice cream dessert or something like that, or sticky toffee pudding. That's right up there with some sticky toffee pudding. Beautiful. But overall, all of these, the Arran, the Glenallachie, the Bunnahabhain, the Glendronach, um, and I'll just put in a word again for Glen Scotia. I did visit them when I was in when I was in Campbelltown last summer, and it was a beautiful tour. It was a really nice tour. And don't forget Springbank and its little cousin, Campbelltown Loch. So if you are excited about fall coming, if you can't wait for the weather to turn cool and to start wearing sweaters or jumpers and sweatshirts and scarves and cashmere, and you can't wait to go to some beach bonfires and just to cuddle up with a nice hot cup of tea, this is your stuff. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for sticking with me. If you're a whiskey enthusiast and you've been watching my videos and you've subscribed, thank you so much. If you haven't subscribed, it would really, really help my channel. It's kind of a YouTube thing. I'm a couple hundred subscribers away from hitting the 1,000 mark, so I would really appreciate it if you could share this video with your friends and family, and especially your friends who are starting off their whiskey journey. I've got a whole about 112 videos about the beginnings of your whiskey journey, how to open a bottle, how to add water, what kind of glasses to use. So we're kind of turning a corner here, I hope. And I really, really want to say thank you to those of you who have already subscribed and been my loyal followers this far. So everybody, enjoy the rest of your summer. Go to the beach a couple more times. Enjoy the sun a few more times with your sun protector or your sun cream. But just so you know, if you're one of those people who loves the fall, if you love the autumnal equinox, Slanjava.